Okay, let's go.
What's up, guys? This is another episode of Bounce House Billionaire. This is Austin here with BounceWave Inflatable Sales. Just wanted to give you guys a quick look on how we roll our large two-piece slides. Today we have our 24-foot Cayman Crush, which we just debuted to ClubWave. Go join ClubWave if you haven't. But we get a lot of questions on how to roll these bigger slides. And there's more than one way to skin a cat, but after doing this almost every day, we've kind of found some ways that make it a little bit more efficient. So here's your slip and slide piece, of course. There's your Velcro middle. The first thing you're going to want to do is when you deflate it and you open all your zippers up, go ahead and start undoing the Velcro here so that way you can get them separated. And there are zippers, remember, right back under here where the Velcro meets. So make sure you have those unzipped too so you can get all that air out. Y'all ready? Yeah. We got Tim and Blake here with BounceWave. They're gonna help us show you how to do this. Okay. So you're gonna want to get in your stabilizers in first. Fold those in. And so you'll notice they started at the stair side first. So for this and hybrids, 15-foot single lanes, 18-foot single lanes, anything where you climb up the stairs on the left-hand side, you're always going to want to fold that side in first. And the trick on this fold is making sure that you fold it enough to where your stairs are horizontal and they're not sitting like this in your fold, or else it's going to make your fold almost impossible because those stairs need to be laying flat. And you can feel that. You see how Timmy's walking on it. You can feel the stairs under here. So you're going to want to get it over enough to where the stairs are flat and almost halfway here. Go ahead and walk it out, get the air out as much as you can. Then you move on over to this side, get your stabilizer in. You're going to go all the way over with this side. You see there, they took that side and they folded it all the way over onto the top of the original left side of the slide. Go ahead and get yourself straightened out here. Now you'll notice too, sometimes you'll see us and others folding in the back, basically the top part of your slide when it's up. You'll see us pull that all the way in on these big 24-foot, 20, 22, 26, even all the way up to 29-foot. If you do that, you're going to cause too much bunching up right back here. So whenever you roll, you're going to end up with this really fat, hard to maneuver roll. So we leave the back out. It might cause a little bit more of cleaning the next time you set it up because your back is now on the ground, but it will help you immensely on your roll. So it's worth it to wipe it down a little bit if you need to. And if you guys don't know, on our BounceWave units, you'll notice these little flaps. Some people don't know what these are for. These are actually to allow the air to come out as you're rolling and as you're walking. Air will escape here. One thing though to remember is if you do decide to open these, make sure you close them before the next time you rent out your unit, because it's going to let air out and you're going to feel it be a little bit soft. More than likely you've left one of these open. So what we do is when we roll one up, we just take the flap and we just go like that so that it stays kind of open. And that, or you could just leave it closed. It makes a good difference, it helps, but if you're worried about forgetting the next time you set it up, you can always leave it closed too. We're rolling this a tad bit different than what we might roll it if we rented it out to somebody, and that's because we may have to rent this or ship this unit. So when we ship this unit, we got to fit it on a pallet, so there's a certain width of the roll that we have to do, that we have to achieve to be able to ship it. So maybe if you were renting this and you wanted to make it a little bit easier on yourself and make it a little bit taller of a roll, then you wouldn't fold this side all the way over. You may just go 3/4 of the way over on this fold here. That makes it taller because remember, whatever your width is from this side to this side is going to be how tall your roll is. And the taller it is, the little bit easier it is to maneuver until a certain point. You don't want it to be 8 foot tall, then you can't even grab the top. Then of course you're going to set your straps. Yeah. Okay. So one little trick trick of the trade is if you take the two corners, you just saw they took each corner on each side and folded it in and started your roll. That's gonna keep your material tight, and it's gonna make it a lot easier to get a nice start and a tight start. A little secret that we've learned over the years. So you'll see it's already nice and tight there. Get your straps in here. Go ahead, they're about to hit the stairs, so here's where it's gonna get a little bit tough. And as you're rolling, kind of keep your eye on this right here, because if you start to see this get all out of wonky, that means your roll is not in a straight line. And you can adjust. These guys are looking pretty good here on their roll. There's not much, you don't see this caving in. And look at that, they're already almost at the end. Nothing was like 18 foot high, but 24 foot slide. Right here, you're gonna take a little bit slower, let the air out the end there. And there you have it. Take straps. We'll do a little close-up of Timmy, how he does the straps. He's the knot master here. So you're gonna go through both rings. You're gonna go under. And he's got it pulled tight already, so he's gone under. He's created a little loop here. And he's pulled his leader through, and now you just pull right there. That way, whenever you go to pull it, to put it out and run it out next time, you just take the leader line and you just pull, and look at that. So he'll do it again one more time for you. He's through both sides here. Pull tight as you can. Then he's gonna put his hand under to give him some leverage. Leader goes under, and it goes through that little loop right there. And there you have it. All right, next we'll move on to the slip and slide. All right, now we're moving on to the slip and slide piece of this 24-foot two-piece slide. So one thing to keep in mind is when you rent these out together, it's two pieces that Velcro in the middle. So how you do your roll matters, because when you go to place it out in somebody's yard, you're gonna wanna know where to drop the unit before you roll it out. We always roll ours on the slide part. We roll from the slide to the middle where they meet, and then you'll see here on the slip and slide, we'll roll from this end to here. That way we know when we go set it up at somebody's house, we'll put the units next to each other right here in the middle, and they'll go this way, and then the slide will go that way. And then on the slip and slide, you're gonna fold your pool in, pull it back right to about where that seam is, where the pool starts, and you'll see the seam here, and that's where you know how to stop, or where to stop. And then on the slip and slides, it really doesn't matter which side you start. It's just a habit for us to always start on this side, because we're always doing it on the stair side with regular slides. But you're gonna go halfway here. Then you're gonna move on to your next piece. And this one, again, like I said on the slide, we are rolling it or folding it a tad bit different than what you would normally do in the field, because we got to put this on a pallet. So it's got to be a certain height, or else it won't fit on the pallet. So they pulled it pretty much 3/4 here. You could do that in the field because these slip and slides are so easy. But you could also go half and half if you wanted to, make it a little bit wider and a little bit easier to dolly around and that kind of thing. So do your 2 folds, walk it out, make sure all your zippers are undone always, or else it'll make your roll a lot more of a pain than it needs to be. Don't forget to set your straps. And always go D-ring side down. And make sure too, you remember when you're setting your straps, you never want to go and set them out too far on the outside, because then sometimes you can get lost with it, and then they'll end up, the whole strap will end up out here, and it'll do no good. So always try and keep them kind of centered before you let your roll back down. So then you'll full. Down as they get to the end because the air is pushed here, and just slow down, and as you slow down you'll see that air will seep out. And then you'll see one thing Blake's doing here is you take the very end of your roll and you tuck it in a little bit, fold it in. That way the interior part that's shown when it's inflated is protected and it's not exposed out in your roll. You get to hide it a little bit. It doesn't get as dirty, especially if you're in like a dirty backyard or your garage is a little bit dusty. That helps protect the interior of the slide. And that's why you fold that edge in. Now you have it, going to set the straps on this one again, or tie the straps. There you have it. And then one little trick too is, if you guys don't notice, if you have our BounceWave products, our straps will always have this yellow vinyl piece, and there's a reason for that. You can take a Sharpie and write what it is. That way if you have multiple in your garage, you can always identify what piece it is just by writing on that strap right there with a Sharpie. All right, so we got both pieces rolled up here. This is the 24-foot, and here's the slip and slide piece of the big, large 2-piece slide. And we just wanted to give you guys kind of a quick tips on, if you have a heavy unit like this one, a 24-foot slide, the best way to kind of lift it up. Now we do have the inflatable wedge, but sometimes whether you don't have one or you forgot to bring it, there's a little bit of tips and tricks you can get when you're pushing this thing up. So you'll see as Timmy comes over here to lift this up, he's going to use his body and his leverage. So he gets down with the unit and he gets where he feels the strongest and uses his leverage and his body, and he just pushes up. And you see how he kind of used his body weight, and of course Timmy's built like an ox, but he still uses his body weight to try and leverage that unit up into the air with no issues there. So it's kind of some tips and tricks on how to do that. Don't stand there with your knees locked out trying to lift it with all arms. Use your entire body to get that thing lifted. All right, well, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Bounce House Billionaire. Hope you guys learned a little bit of something. If you have any questions, please give us a call, 1-888-901-9283. We'd be happy to help you out. Even if you haven't bought anything from us before, it's our pleasure to help you and help make sure your business succeeds. Thanks.